Very talented. Sean Long, I would say right now, no question, a freshman of the year. He's had, I can't remember, 8 double-doubles or something like that on the season, and Peyton, their point guard, is playing at a high level. So I think anytime you have a point guard playing as good as Peyton and a big as good as Long, you've got a chance. And they surround them with some really good athletes.
I know this doesn't have any bearing on this year's game, but the 6-man game, your impressions of how that all went down is, I guess,
unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think you could figure out how many guys are on the floor. I say that, I didn't realize it till the guy was driving the basket and someone was open. It looked like everybody else was guarded, and I was like, this isn't right. But it was too late at that point.
Had you ever been a part of anything like that before?
No. I've seen it on television, but I've never been a part of it.
Any updates on Caden and Jamal? Still about the same?
Still about the same. I talked to Mike this morning about Jamal. They're talking about maybe next week, but I don't see that. I'm thinking maybe the following week. Caden, it's just a matter of getting enough strength back in that area. He's in there. He took 500 shots yesterday, so he's close. I think he's more realistic for next week than Jamal. I've done this a long time. Never experienced anything like it. It's art, but at the same time, as a coach, you always say injuries are part of the game. You have to deal with it. You have to move on, but at some point they've got to stop. I mean, it's just been one right after another, and they've all been to the same positions. They've all been guards. I've never, if you had one big out and one guard, I mean, you can live with that and expect that. But if you think about Caden, Nigel, Kevin, TJ, Jamal, all 5 of those have basically been out at the same time at some point.
How are they and the ones that are not injured? I mean, how are they handling all this just constant almost flux, I guess?
As far as the injuries are concerned?
Yeah, just, how are they, it's got to be somewhat deflating, to a degree when someone gets healthy, then someone else goes down, or they're all healthy, all injured at the same time.
Well, I mean, again, you want to have your full complement of guys. And at some point, we're going to be back as close to full strength as possible here soon. Not soon enough, but soon we will. And our goal is to develop some depth, so when those guys do come back, now we know who we can count on. I think Percy's a guy that kind of come out of the shadows as a guy that I think we can count on for some quality minutes, not only now, but a month from now. And I think barring those injuries, that would not have happened. So, you can look at it both ways. Look at it as glass half empty or half full. We're looking at it as half full. These kids we've not lost some games because of a lack of effort. The effort's there. They're competing. We're just not at times making good decisions with the basketball. We didn't shoot the ball particularly well on Saturday night. I mean, the injuries aside and everything else, if we just make a few shots that were great looks, we're okay. So we've got to get some guys back to making some shots, and we'll be okay.
Last week, a lot of your emphasis was on defense. I know you did some on this as well, but what's a major point this week?
Well, we want to focus on, we've got to make some adjustments to how we're playing. It's unfortunate, but we have to. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but we're going to change styles a little bit for the next 2 or 3 weeks. It's the only way we can have a chance, and so we're trying to implement some of that. At the same time, really concentrating on reads on the offensive end. This is what you need to be seen, and this is who's open. Did some film work earlier, so again, I don't think we have to worry about effort. That's going to be there. but we do have to worry about consistency and making good decisions with the basketball.
How difficult is that to kind of change up your style mid-season like you guys are?
Well, we're not going to totally change.
Yeah.
We're going to tinker with some things. It can be done.
I know we've talked about Brandon a lot in the past. Just elaborate on just how much of a blessing he's been in Jamal's absence and the way he's stepped up.
He's a competitor. He wants to do well. He's, he's one of those guys that it means something to him, and it's difficult for him because basically he was our third point guard. We were playing him off the ball, Jamal to point, Kevin as his backup, and all of a sudden he's thrust in the role of starting point guard at none other than DCU, probably the best pressing team in the country. Then follow that up with a game at Louisville, now the #1 ranked team in the country. So I think he's, at times it's difficult for him because we didn't ask him to handle the pressure, to get us in our offense and these type of things on October 15th. We were playing him strictly off the ball, and very seldom you think of your third string quarterback in football. That's where we're at. Not that he's a bad point guard. He was just, we were a much better team with him at the 2 guard because it freed him up for some open looks. It gave us another good ball handler and passer on the court, and I think our offense is suffering some because of that.
You guys are doing throwback night on Thursday, obviously the jerseys and everything. I mean, what do you think about all that? Just wearing the jerseys of the 71 team and all that.
I think it's going to be great. I think the fans will love the short shorts. They haven't seen those in a while, so guys, when we put those in the locker, they're going to love those. So, and then we're not wearing the short shorts. I still got a pair of mine from college. We'll bring those out. I pulled them out the other day. I'm thinking, how did I wear these? I can't get in them today.